Looking at the first one, because this is the first shaila that the Maimba points out, namely the different sources. So the top of the page are the two psukim being dealt with, both in Parshas Kedoshim. The Maimba begins with Venikdashti. The Maimba begins with the pasuk in Parshas Emor, which we'll visit on the main sheet. I have all the sources there, but just to remind yourself of this, because this is the main question. So there's two psukim there, Kedoshim Tiyu, Ki Kodesh Ani Hashem Lakech. That's one pasuk. Be holy, because I am holy. Then the next chapter, it's a whole chapter away, pasuk Chof. V'skadashtem, you shall be holy. V'yisem Kedoshim, you shall be holy.
I think it's with a yud.
Sorry?
I think it's with a yud, V'skadishtem. No?
Ki Kodesh Ani. So the first one, the second line of the first pasuk, Ki Kodesh Ani. So then he brings the medrash of the Bnei Medina. They gave the king 3 crowns, one on his head, and 2 he puts upon the head of his children. So obviously the Ki Kodesh Ani, which is the second half of the pasuk Kedoshim Tiyu, for I am holy. That's obviously all. There's no. Not that there is a dispute. There's no discussion there that is the keser that the Eibishter puts on his head. But what are the two? And the medrash, I don't quote the medrash here. This is a given. The medrash says that he puts the 2 crowns on his children. So what is that? So the Alter Rebbe look at the Torah, like his girus, it seems in the medrash is that the pasuk v'skadishtem, v'skadashtem, v'yisem kedoshim. So that divides into 2. You shall be holy, and you shall be holy. You shall be sanctified, and you shall be holy. So the first one is the first kesser, and the second kesser. That's the 3 ksorim. But our medrash includes Kedoshim Tiyu. That's the first one. And the pasuk, V'skadashtem V'yisem Kedoshim, that's the second one combined. So the bottom of the page makes the point that according to the Kotei Torah, Kedoshim Tiyu is not part of the crowns given to Bnei Yisrael. But the end we'll see why, because it's part of the crown of the Eibishter, which simultaneously is also Yidden. That's the whole Chiddush of the Maimon. Okay, now let's look at the second sheet. We'll start at the bottom, because the bottom are all the source material. Now the red ink is the psukim. Quotations are the medrash. So you can refer to the bottom of the page when we look at the columns. Hello, you with me? You can look at the bottom of the page to see the exact sources, and you can just looking at the page, you can see the differences between the right-hand column, which is look at the Alter Rebbe, his girsa, and the medrash of the Fanenu, the way we have it. Now let's begin now with the right-hand column, extreme right, because that's how the Maimon begins. That's a pasuk from Parshas Emor. The psukim that were brought all from Parshas Kedoshim, subsequent to that. And the midrashim are in Parshas Emor. So let's look at the bottom. We should look at the bottom of the page first. I'm sorry. So in Parshas Emor is the pasuk which the Maimon begins with, Venikdashti b'soich b'nei Yisrael. You shall be holy, or you're holy within b'nei Yisrael, which the Maimon explains that is the holiness of a Yid reaching to the Eibishter, the longing to become one with him. Avedet tzadikim. Ani Hashem mekadoshchem is the Eibishter's response. And there's 2 responses there, Torah and mitzvahs, Amshach Alamata, as we'll see in the right-hand column. But again, looking at the sources at the bottom. Then there's Parshas Kedoshim. Kedoshim Tiyu Ki Kodesh Ani Hashem Elokeichem. That's the only place where for I am holy appears. Then in Parshas Chof, the 2, V'skadashtem V'yisem Kedoshim. So these are the 3 psukim that the Maimon brings, and they'll be all mapped out on the grid. The Maimon brings 2 midrashim. The first one explaining the 3 Kodesh, 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 and that the Novi Yeshaya says, part of our davening. What are the three? So Moshe B'nai Medina, that they gave him 3 crowns. Yechachad B'roishe, one he takes for himself, V'shtayim B'reish Bonav, and 2 on his head. Then later he brings the medrash, so ties it in. It's going to be on the grid. On the pasuk Kedoshim Tiyu Yochel Kamayni, you might think like I am Talmud Leime Ki Kodesh Ani. I am holy. Kedoshasi L'mayim Kedoshaschem. My holiness is higher than yours. And in that there were 2 pirushim, B'tmiyah, as in Pashtus, as you think you're as holy as me, you're not. It's a rejected idea. Or from the Mordinayim Benichusa, that yes, Yochel Komeini, indeed so. And we'll see who's who. Now let's begin. What I want you to do is that whenever we see red or quotations, you know where it comes from and you see the difference. That's the objective of this. Okay, right-hand column, extreme right now. The Maimon begins with the pasuk in Parshas Emor, which says, Venikdashti b'seif b'nei Yisrael, ani Hashem mekadoshchem. So it says the Maimon, Venikdashti, this is how the Maimon begins. That's referring to a kedusha which is milamata l'mayla, from below to above. Mishtoikek, it's a longing, it's the avodah of tzaddikim. Later in the Maimon he will say, but it's a bali tshuva, this is actually drawn, it's nimshach. How so? It's beyond the ken of a created being. How can this level, which the tzaddikim only long for, be drawn in the pnimius? He explains at the end of the Maimon, because the sheiresh hatshuva batzmusa is barach, and he just says God can do anything, and tshuva touches atzmus, and therefore it can be nimshach. This darge can be nimshach lamat. So this little section is incorporating what the Maimon says later. Now, more detail. Venikdashti is Kesed Aleph. The Maimon says it's Kesed the Chochma. That's the ultimate Kesed beyond the Shtalshalos. The true save of Kol Almin. And that's the Kodesh only. You can see it's glancing across the page. The Medrash also, obviously, Kodesh only. And that's Baroishe Shel Kodesh Baruch Hu. It goes on God's head. However, the Alter Rebbe says that this is also the Darg of Kedoshim Tiyu. This is the Batshuva Darg. Could have added that. Kedoshim Tiyu, which the Medrash refers to as Kedushaschem, and Yochel Kameini, according to the Alter Rebbe, is Benichusa. Yes, indeed. Your Kedusha is like Kedushasi, Lashon HaMedrash. Clear? Friends, feedback. Whereas the Medrash Lefaneinu, in contrast, no, they remain separate. The Kodesh only is Baroisha Shel Kodesh Baruch Hu, that remains on God's head. Kedushasi Shel Amayla B'Kedushaschem, that the Medrash, quoting again, my holiness is holier than yours. Yochel Kameini B'Tmiyah, as in a question but rejected. Yeah. Now let's go to the extreme right, bottom horizontal column. The pasuk says, "Venikdashti." Now looking at the right-hand column as a whole, extreme right-hand columm. The Venikdashti is melamata l'mayla. That is, and it's a tzaddikim. The chiddush Alter Rebbe is that's nimshach by bali tshuva. Ani Hashem mekadoshchem. That is clearly something nimshach b'pnimius, from above to below, where the below absorbs it, and it's 2 inyonim. It's Torah, which is mamshech elikus in druchnis and pnimius oilemis. That's viskadashtem, and then mitzvahs chitzonius. That's the second half of the pasuk for Yisem Kedoshim. That's the third keser, and that is keser the malchus. That's mitzvahs malchus peil mamish. Clear? So that phrase, Biskadash Visem Kedoshim, which is Kapitel Chav Perek Zayin, the Alter Rebbe is divided into 2, and that for the Medrash is 1, because the first keser Kedushaschem That's Kedoshim T, which doesn't appear in the Alter Rebbe for the Kesef of Bnei Yisrael, because where does it belong? It belongs really, it's synonymous with the Kodesh Ani of the Eibishter. Look on the chart, as you can see, right-hand column, middle. But for the Medrash, Kedoshim T is your Pashtus. The holiness of Eden, that's the first Keser. Venikdashti Visam Kedoshim, that is combined, it's one phrase, that's the second Keser in Eden, the third Keser in total. Okay, so this is an aid when you learn the Maimar. I didn't bring all the ha'aras and every nuance and diuk, but the basic Maimar is mapped out here and the differences between the Alter Rebbe and the Rebbe. We didn't address the brackets, the parenthesis under the words, the Kutei Torah. So this is all, and you can help me here. This is all beremes beParshas Seinu. But where's this explicit b'mefurish in the Kutei Torah Parshas Nitzavim? Now, why is it that it's explicit there and beremes here? Let's start with why it's explicit there. Elo, let's have this hatshuva. That's the whole thing. Why? So then, why even talk about it now? Because this is avodah v'risoimer. This is avodah tzadikim. This is more the medrashes. Yeah. 2 reasons why he said it's negay now. But how is v'risoimer? It's tzadikim. The overt definition of Sfiras is this: it's tzaddikim. It's not radical. It's step by step. After a day, Yom Sheni, Yom Shlishi. It's where is the aspect? It's a nuance that even in the Avodah Sfiras, which is that's the whole point. It's not Elul. It's the Avodah Milamata Lamaila of Bir Ramidis. The fact that the Nefesh Habamis doesn't want this, you got to change him. It's not just fixing. You got to change him. So therefore, there's the element of tshuva as well. He was in one direction, he's going in another direction. And the second reason why it speaks in Parshas Emor about Mizmar Ramaz, at least, to the, how is he Ramaz? Because the Kedoshim Tiyu belongs with the Kodesh Ani, that's where it's hinted. His difference with the Medrash. So why another Pesach Sheni is a Vedas Hakshuva, and always read round when Parshas Emor. Sheralkein the Altabis Merambis and Avedas Hakshuva, even in Parshas Emor, which deals with and talks about actually the mitzvah of Sviras. Okay, we need, of course, to appreciate that this whole understanding of what the Alter Rebbe is saying is the Rebbe's Megalit. And this is quintessential Rebbe, that Neshamas Yisrael and Mushish and Atzmos, that's the ultimate. And answer this question. It's not on the sheet at all. This is just a geographical aid for the Maimon. You got to learn the Maimon, this will help you. But answer this question. Kedoshim, that for the Alter Rebbe, Kedoshim Tiyu and Kodesh Oni is one darga. So whose is it? Is it the avodah of the Yid or the Eibishter? These are strong words in the Maimon. We find the words in the Maimon, the end where the Rebbe answers this question. We didn't address it at great length, but it's very critical. Where is it? Where are you looking? Tell us where you're looking.
By number 27, Ki al Yideshin Shams Yisrael Mis'ales L'Makar Cholitzvam.
I'm saying it, right? I think 24. What ice are you?
I read before about 3 lines before.
Right, it's ice A. He asked the question. Masha Kosa B'Medrash, Masha spells out the question. I think you're giving the answer, but it's by the number above 24, not 27, 24. Masha Kosa Medrash HaKdusha, the Kodesh Ani, the Eibishter takes. And the Alter Rebbe is saying that this Kedusha is drawn to Yidden. What?
Oh,
Yeah, these are the words there. Because the Amshach of the Kedusha of Kodesh only by Bali Tshuva is not mitzad the Metzias. The Metzias, they're a created being. And if it's your Metzias, then it's only longing for that. The tzaddik, it's his order 24. The tzaddik he's a wonderful person and longing for this, and that's where it ends. But the Baal Tshuva, no, it doesn't long. He actually absorbs it, reveals it within himself. But it's a transcendent level. So, but lefi, it's cryptic words. How does it work? Tshuva breaks open something in me that's beyond me, the source of my neshama that's one with Atzmos. And then even the end, even stronger words comes out that even after, you have this crown, it remains in the crown of the head, not given to any other, not even his children. He's saying the avoid of tshuva is higher even than the relationship of a ben, which is the tzaddik. He's a ben, he's an eved. Tshuva is even higher than ben. Because a child is close, but still a separate entity, and an eved is bottle, but a separate entity. Tshuva is megala, that level where chadim atzmos. And it happens despite ourselves. How does it happen? By breaking ourselves, we unlock this deep truth, which is embedded in me, because the source of my neshama is part of the Eibishter. So therefore, even what he's saying here, even as this crown is on the head of the Yid, it's on the head of the Eibishter exclusively at the same time. Granted to no other than Etzem HaNeshama, which is what Tshuva unlocks. Isn't that right, Isaac? This is pure Rebbe. This is not spelled out this way in the Kutei Torah and in the Tzovim, and certainly not here. This is quintessential Rebbe. Nothing higher than a Yid. Okay? No substitute for learning it and reviewing it. It's a beautiful mind. It's Muggah. It's Muggah, and it's connected with the Bisalar Yaleib. It's very close to the Rebbe and whatever his journey.